Best of luck. National championship. Men's basketball coach Scott Drew just finished up a practice. David Smoke and Paul Catalina, Craig Smoke on 365 Sports. Is this... I know that getting ready and game planning in the moments of a game might be what like juices you up the most. What is this like right now when you're cultivating your team?
Hey, right in there. Thank you. Sorry, I'm walking out right now. I got full attention for you. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. So I know that game day or game planning or in-game changes has got to be like, that's got to be like a rush, like an adrenaline rush. But being able to, like, right now, molding your team during these times of the year, this practice time, what's that like for you?
Man, that's a great question, because in years past, when you had 70% of your returning players, they knew what your system was and you could kind of build. Now with the so much turnover, I think coaches are trying to find easier ways to put in what you're going to do offensively and defensively, since you do have so many more new guys on average. The next thing with that, though, is this time of year especially, it's so important you don't have a lot of injuries. And why is because you're trying to figure out rotations, who plays well with who, especially when you got a lot of new guys. And normally how you do that is through competing. And whenever you compete, that's body on body, and you sometimes get injuries. So knock on wood, we've been pretty blessed so far. But we're looking forward to, I think this Friday, we'll have our full team for the first time since June in a practice.
So this is maybe one of your different kind of mixes when it comes to transfers and experience and freshmen that might play. Like sometimes it leans one way or the other. You're pretty balanced across the board. Does that give you a little bit of confidence in your ability to be flexible in your lineup and what guys can do?
Well, I think first and foremost, most coaches like their teams right now because they haven't faced a lot of adversity and no one's gotten a loss. But what I can tell you so far with our guys is they really compete hard. They like one another. They're fun to be around, and it's a good mix and a good blend of upperclassmen, like you said, some new guys. So the younger guys keep it energetic. The older guys are doing a good job mentoring them. I would think that's why. Come this Friday, when hopefully we have everybody in practice in the next 2-3 weeks, now that they know what we're looking at offensively and defensively, we can really start to hone in on who plays best with who and what rotations we might look at.
Scott, what's kind of the personality of this team that you've seen developed? I would imagine everybody's got every year's a different group and a different experience. What's sort of been the kind of characteristics and experience you've seen from this team so far?
Well, I think work ethic. It's a hard-working group, and we've had a lot of hard-working groups, but top to bottom, this one's as good as any of them. As far as character and just how they compete, like in practice, don't have a lot of bickering, don't have a lot of complaining, just guys that are coachable and trying to get better and excited to get better. And then because they compete hard, iron sharpens iron. That's the best way to improve.
Scott, will this be one of your younger teams based on the incoming and because of the changes in the turning of a roster?
Yes, because it's relative also. And what I mean by that is you're still dealing with the COVID stuff. And because of that, you're dealing with 5th and 6th year guys. You remember guys last year, I mean, Texas, I think, had 3 6-year guys on the team. So until we have this year and one more year of COVID, and once that's done, then you're back to facing mostly 4-year guys with a couple 5th-year guys rather than so many 4, 5, and 6-year guys.
Scott, you guys went to Paris this summer. I know that when you went on the trip the last time, that proved invaluable for team building. What habits have you seen come back from that, which I hope are not like eating dinner at 10:30 at night like they do there?
Well, that their food's pretty good, and that 10:30 is real. And the pastries are hard to turn down at 10:30 at night. So, but other than that, a great bonding experience. The 10 days of practice beforehand, and really, what being overseas is so good is you got to remember when guys get up for the first half of the day, everybody in the States is sleeping. So there's no social media, there's no phone calls, and they're just hanging out with each other and spending time together. And normally when you go through something together, that's how you grow closer together. So that bonding's invaluable. And then again, the jump start on the year practice-wise is really critical.
Every player you brought in is there for a reason because you knew and thought and hoped that they're going to make a difference for your team. How much does Ray J. Dennis help you solidify what is probably the most important position in basketball?
Well, I think first and foremost, he gives you experience there, and you can't replace experience. You can be as talented as all get out, but that poise that comes with the experience of being in there and have done that, not much he hasn't seen in college basketball, being the player of the year in the MAC, which is a really good basketball league, playing at Boise State. He's been in two great programs, really well coached. They've won a lot. I think the easiest thing to compare it to is really the quarterback position in college. And it doesn't matter if what college team it is. Normally, freshman quarterbacks throw more interceptions than upperclassmen.
Mm-hmm.
And taking care of the basketball is the first and biggest prereq for a point guard. And then the experience of knowing how to get your teammates involved, who to look for, where to get them the ball, when to get them the ball, knowing that, hey, this guy ain't gotten a touch, I got to get him a touch. You know, those little things that come in.
I know you had the NBA guys in here this summer as well. I did coming back. It seemed like everybody that's in the league came back for a little while. What do you glean from like letting your guys talk to those guys and how they listen and take in advice from the veterans like that?
Well, first and foremost, some of these guys are here because of our vets, and then the second thing is our vets are here because of the vets before them, and because of their love and care for the program. It's easy for them to want to help and want to give back, and it's easy for these guys to listen and be receptive. So that's an invaluable part of our program.
Scott, what is more pressure-packed this day and age? You're down 2. You just called your last timeout. You get the ball in front of your own bench, and you're down 2 to draw up a play, and it's a massive crowd and it's loud, or recreating your roster in this day and age of the transfer portal?
No question. Recreating your and that's where everybody loves. I think no matter what profession, nobody wants uncertainty. So, like, if you have a job, being uncertain, am I getting a raise? Am I getting fired? Am I getting demoted? Like, everybody just wants, like, do I have a job? What do I need to do? And coach is the same way. What's my roster? What do I need? How can I build? And the end of the season, you have to deal with who's going to the draft, who's not going to the draft, who's transferring. And you just want answers, and you don't get answers because the longer people have, the longer you're left in suspense. And people in general don't like that. They like more certainty. And spiritually, it's great to have faith to know God's always going to give us who we need. But sometimes we ask him, can we get that a little bit quicker?
Yeah, there you go. Now, my last question for you is, you mentioned Friday you might have your full assortment of your team together for the first time. Is that because players who are coming back from any kind of injuries, or what does that due to?
Yeah, Jacoby had broke his nose and had surgery, and he gets back Friday, and he's the only one we have out right now. So the day we got Langston back, we lost Jacoby. So we're just trying to get everybody back, and hopefully this Friday we will have that.
I love the fact, I don't like the fact he broke his nose, but to me that means he's mixing it up somewhere, right? Or is he just caught like a straight elbow?
Well, I can tell you don't have to worry about any of our guys backing down from mixing it up and playing hard. So it's a great group in that realm.
Thank you, Scott. We appreciate your time, man. We really do. We did not ask you about the 20 conference games that has been reported. Mac was on with us earlier about they're trying to get all that done with the new conference for next year. Is that something you like? Is that too many games? What are your thoughts about a 20 conference schedule?
Well, I believe in the math, and the math says if you play 20 games, it gives you the best chance of the conference to get a couple teams a higher seed line and maybe an additional team in the NCAA tournament. So what's best for the league, I'm a team guy and want what's best for the Big 12. So I would prefer the 20 game team schedule. I can tell you that we were so blessed when we were able to play everybody home and away and have a true champion. And who you play, where you play, that's going to have some dictation. But overall, 20 games gives you a pretty good sample size for who deserve that conference championship.
Thank you for your time as always. Appreciate it, Scott Drew.
Hey, thank you guys. And hey, great job, Smokey. When we were down 35-7, I saw you on the sideline making a couple plays. And what a heck of a win. I tell you, we got great momentum heading into this weekend.
Yeah, and you were a part of a program that you were trying to build from scratch. Not that Dave has done that, but how critical, what does that mean, that kind of gutting it out like that to get a win when they really did need one after a very difficult start?
Well, the thing I can tell you is sports is such a momentum and mental thing. And when you get a win like that, those could be season changers. They don't guarantee it, but they sure do help. And I always say, you work really hard, you get the win. It's kind of like you get the paycheck. If you work really hard and you get the loss, you didn't get paid. And everybody has a job. You do want the paycheck at the end of the day, and winning gives you that. And that momentum is going to be huge for us, I think, the rest of the year.
Thank you very much, Scott Drew, national championship men's basketball coach at Baylor.